Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome back to this session. This is the second session of Git and GitHub, and I hope I'm audible. And in the previous session, we seen some basic command related to Git, right? So, so let me just give you the glimpse of the previous session. In the previous session, we've seen what is open source and what Git and GitHub is. We installed Git and we also set up all the things. And we also made a new account in the GitHub. And we made our own first repository in the previous session. And we added a few files in it. And then we forked that repository from our other account and then we pull that repository and clone that repository in our local machine and we made few changes and we see how we do commit and push and all this stuff. And we also made in the previous session our first repository, right? So we seen all these things. We also seen in the previous session on how to update our master branch from and how to add upstream. Uh, but we skipped the part of the merge commit and how to update our current or how to resolve the conflicts, right? If you see that the one PR that we made was 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 having one conflict. Yes, here it is. Okay, so this particular PR had a conflict. That means this branch had a conflict with the upstream master branch. So in today's session, we're going to cover all this thing like what is conflict and how to resolve that. And in today's session also, we're going to cover the GitHub desktop part. I mean, we're going to see what GitHub actually is and how helpful it is and whether you should use or not and all the stuff. So in my opinion, definitely you should use GitHub desktop because that provides lots of feature and accessibility to all the users who are using Git and GitHub. And in GitHub desktop, we don't necessarily need to do all those command line things. We don't need to write commands by ourselves. All the things are done by GitHub desktop software itself. We just have to click some buttons and it will do its magic. So we'll see all these things like how we can do that and all the stuff. So first we'll start with installation of GitHub desktop. Then we will move forward to all the basic stuff of GitHub desktop can do. And then we will solve our this particular conflict that we had in the previous session, right? So we'll see why this particular conflict came and how we can resolve that and how we can prevent this conflict from happening in the future. So we'll see all the stuff, right? And after that, we will also see how to contribute through by using GitHub Desktop. So we'll also see that in this session only, and we'll also cover some of the important topics like merge conflict and then what is cost merge and rebates and all the stuff, cherry pick, and all, we are going to cover all those topics in this session only. So yeah, let's start with GitHub desktop software installation. It's pretty easy. I mean, just you have to search GitHub desktop download, and you'll see the first link that is GitHub desktop simple contribution. And if you are using Windows, then you have to download the Windows version. And if you are using the Mac, then you can download the Mac. It's I guess 100 MB software. So let me just download it. And once you download it, you just have to install that. You just have to double click on it, and you don't need to do any other thing than that. So it's very useful tool for all the people who are regularly contributing to open source, or not only in open source, in general, using Git and GitHub. So if you are that person, and this tool is also useful if you are not using GitHub. Let's suppose if you are using some GitLab or Bitbasket, then also this you can use this particular GitHub-Desktop tool. It is available for everyone. You just have to customize your URL link. I'll tell that how to do that in a while. Let me just download this particular setup, then we'll do that. Okay, so GitHub-Desktop is also open source. I mean, you can contribute to it. All the things that GitHub made is always open source thing. GitHub itself is open source thing. Okay, so we can manage our commits and all the pull requests that we did in the past. Basically, you can do all these things from one application. You don't have to write or manage all the GitHub commands. GitHub-Desktop software will do it for you. So we'll see that how it will be beneficial to you and how you can use that in a while. Let it download first. It's 100 MB long. Okay. Hello, Smithal. Hello, Aditya. Just give me a second. It's downloading still. Okay. And at the last of the session, we'll also cover that how to customize our commits. Through GitHub-Desktop tool, you can customize your commits to, like, I mean, you can choose whichever line you wanted to keep in the particular commit, which is very interesting feature I personally found, and that is the reason why I personally use GitHub-Desktop. You can use Visual Studio Code, the tools as well, and if you are using Android Studio, then you can Android Studio also have their own tools to handle GitHub commands. You can use that as well, but I personally found this GitHub-Desktop very useful. So in order to install Github-Desktop, you just have to double click to it. I have to uninstall the previous version of it. So I'll do that first before installing the new one. Okay, it's reopening the same version. Just a second. I'll uninstall my previous version of Github-Desktop, and then I will show you how to install that. It's very easy. It's nothing fancy in installation process. Let me know if I'm going fast or slow at any time. As you can see, it's just 100 MB software. Okay, okay, it's uninstalled now. So yeah, now we can install our setup. So where it is? Okay. So you just have to double click to it and run the application, and now it will automatically start installing the whole thing, and it will create a desktop icon also. Pardon me for my messy desktop. I didn't arrange it properly. Anyway, uh, yes, in comment section one saying that is this session covers the shortcuts for GitHub command. Yes, GitHub whole GitHub desktop software is just a shortcut for avoiding all this uh, trouble of writing GitHub and GitHub command. So yes, this session is related to that. Okay, so whenever you first open GitHub desktop, I mean the GitHub desktop software, this is not how it will look because I already signed into it. So whenever you will open this first software, here it will ask you to sign in first. I will show you each and every tools which GitHub desktop have. So so first of all, it will need you to sign into GitHub Desktop if you not already did. But in my case, I already signed into it, so I don't have to again sign in here. So let's first see what this particular software contains, what different features and all. So as you can see over here in the left side, it will show you all the changes that you made in the particular repository. In the last session also we seen that what repository is. It's basically for your understanding, I said that it is the folder which contains all your project files. So over here it will show all the changes and the stuff you did. Okay, and in the history section it will show you all the commit history that your repository have, like by whom commits did and all this stuff. It will show you, and on the right hand side it will show you what commits did and at which exactly point. So this is about the history section, and you can also customize the view according to yourself. I personally like this view. Okay. So on the top side, you can select. You can see here your current selected repository, like whichever repository you selected. It will be displayed over here, right? So right now you can see there are tons of the repository in my GitHub desktop software. So from over here you can switch from one repository to the other repository. I can show you doing that. Let's suppose I change. So here you can see there are few changes that I didn't committed yet. So it's showing me that do commit those changes, and here you can see there are history and all the stuff showing me. So it's really useful tool, and I personally found it useful because when I started with open source, it was very hard for me to remember all those commands and actually do those commands line by line, because for beginner it's tempting to do all this stuff. So yeah, so let me just go to the text repository. Yep. So at the toolbar section, you can see that there is a file. From in the file section, there is a new repository section. So if you want it, let me just zoom in this. If I can zoom in this little bit. Okay, I hope this is visible now, much clear. Okay, good. So over here you can see in the file section, from file section you can create new repository. Like you can create repository from Git command also, you can create repository from GitHub itself also, and from this software also. We will create repository in a while, and you can add the local repository from your directory if you already have the repository, or you can clone the repository from server itself. Like let's suppose you have some repository from GitHub, or maybe hosted on any other server. You can clone that repository from here. You just have to put your GitHub URL, or you, let's suppose you hosted your repository in GitLab or Bitbasket, then you have to put that URL in the URL section. Then it will clone all this stuff. We'll see that. I'm not going in detail. I'm just giving the overview of this software first of all. So in the edit section, in the edit toolbar section, you get undo and redo. It's basically what it'll do is that it will undo and redo all the stuff that you'll do. I mean, from doing commits, from doing cherry pick, or any other thing that you'll do in the software, you can do undo or redo from here, and it is a shortcut of it. So cut, copy, paste, select all the basic it's all basic feature of this application. In the view section, it shows you the history changes, repository list. Like you can access all these things from here as well, and you can access all these things from here shortcuts as well. So nothing to discuss here. In the repository section, you get options like push repository or pull repository. So these are the two commands that we will be using most of the time. Like if you wanted to push some commits, you'll use the push commit. If you wanted to pull something, some commits from the remote repository, then you'll use pull commit and all this stuff. So if you wanted to remove the repository, then you'll use this option, remove repository, right? So let's suppose if there is one repository that you have on local machine and on remote as well, and you wanted to see that remote repository, then there is an option called view on GitHub. So if you click on this, then it will show you your repository or that remote repository which will link to your Github-Desktop. Okay. So again, you can do all the git command stuff from here also, here only. But let's suppose you wanted to do some stuff by your own hand from command line. So you can do that as well. Like it will open command line for you, and you can do your basic git commands from here. But we are not going to command line again. So the third option is show in Explorer. That means it will basically open this particular repository in the folder where it's located. So if you wanted to edit something from here, you can do that. Then the other option we have is create an issue and open in Visual Studio. So if you use a VS Code editor, then you can open that from here directly. And let's suppose you wanted to create new issue on this particular remote repository, then you can create that but just by clicking this button, and it will redirect you by creating new issue, and you have to put all the stuff that you wanted to put in the issue. So that is the feature of create new issue. Okay, so then the other thing is the repository section. It is basically like it is basically to set the origin, and then set all the git config, then fork behavior for your, whether it's your own or private, or whether you wanted to contribute to this particular repository. And the git ignore file, what is git ignore file is basically it is a file which ignores particular other files. Whenever you mention some file names in the git ignore file, and whenever you change on those files, it will directly ignore their changes, and it will not consider in the git history. So that is the use of git ignore file. So let's suppose there are some build files that automatically gets changed every time you build something, right? So the build file always gets changed whenever you build a new version. So you don't want that build file to be pushed into your GitHub account or GitHub repository. So in that case, you can put that build file location in the git ignore file. So it will ignore all the build folders and all the stuff. So that is the one use of the git ignore file. So that is about the git settings. Then the other thing we have is branches. As I said in the previous section, we use whenever we create new pull request, we create new branches. So let's suppose you wanted to create new branches, you can create directly from here. You just have to click new branch, and it will provide you two different options. Whether you wanted to create branch from Upstream, like Upstream is basically, as I previously said, it is a remote repository. whichever person that owns the repository, that is the upstream. And the main and the other is your current repository, I mean current branch, whatever you selected. So currently my branch is new, so let's go to the main branch. And if I create new branch, it will show that whether you wanted to create that branch from the main. So yeah, that is how you can create branch. You can create new branch from upstream as well. That's not a problem. But I personally suggest you all that you create branch from your main file and you keep updated your main file. I will tell you that how to update your main file time to time and how to create new branch from the main file in a while. Okay. So yeah, just to give me a minute. Okay, so here you can see all these branches that you created, and the other branches like upstream branch. Upstream only have one branch, and that is the reason it's showing one branch. Okay, so you can create branch from here. And there is another section called pull request, which basically show you all the pull requests that open in the remote branch. So in the remote branch, there are two pull requests, right? So it will show you the two pull requests, and it's also very useful to get into any to check out any particular pull request very easily, because let's suppose you are working on particular your friend is working on any particular pull request, and he found some issues related to that pull request while contributing to that pull request, and you wanted to help him out. So in that particular case, you can actually go here and select any pull request or your friend's pull request, and you can fetch that pull request into your local machine, and you can contribute to that pull request, right? So you can directly help to your friend's pull request by just fetching and pushing your code to it. So this is also very useful feature. You can do this particular thing from command line also, but it gets complicated. And over here, it's just a one line thing, right? You just have to click and things are done. So it's really cool. I mean, I really find this thing useful. So okay, so let's fetch our origin. I hope the whole screen is visible. Okay. So you can rename your branch from here. You can rename branch. Then the other things are, if you can discard all the changes or all the stash you have. But currently I don't have any changes or anything. That is the reason this commands are disabled. And as I said, you all time you have to update your main branch. So to update branch, you don't have to write any command. You can simply update your branch from just clicking this button, update branch, and it will update your branch. So if you click this button, as you can see, it's showing that there is one conflict. I'm not going in detail of this conflict. I will explain you what this conflict is and all those stuff once we done with our previous thing. Okay. So from here you can update your main branch, and the compare to branch is also similar. Like you can compare your main branch or your current selected branch, like we selected new branch, right? So you can compare that with main branch. Like main branch is one commit ahead, and your main branch is four commit ahead and one commit behind of your new branch. So I'll talk about this in detail in a while. There are three options whenever you compare your branches. You can either merge those branches, rebase those branches, and squash and merge those branches. So I'll talk what these things are. Don't worry if you don't get it right now. Okay. So let me just remove this thing. The other thing we have is merge into current branch. So it is also same quash, merge, and haste. We already talked about that. Compare on GitHub. So if you wanted to compare this branch on GitHub, let's suppose you wanted to make a new repository, then you can compare this branch and just make a new repository from this here, from this option. And show pull request, like let's suppose you created this branch pull request, and you can open that pull request from here, this option. Okay, cool. And this help section is pretty easy. Like it has report, issues, contacts, and all this stuff. This will you will not use this tools mostly. You will deal with this repository, branch, and fetch and push things in most of the cases. Okay, so moving on to working of this whole thing. Like, let's start with creating our own first repository from GitHub software, right? Let's suppose before moving to the creation of that repository, let's first resolve our previous issue that we had. Like we had a conflict, right? So let's see why this particular conflict happened, and why this happens, and how we can resolve that. Okay, okay. So I have to draw a diagram in order to explain you that. Google whiteboard. Okay, it's Jamboard. Okay. Let's create a new one. Okay. So let me, before explaining you why this particular merge conflict happened, let me first explain you how two branches merge itself. Let's first understand that. Okay. So let's suppose you have a main branch. Okay, here it is. Let's suppose you have a main branch, right? And you have four commits in it. One, two, three, and four. You have four commits in it, simple. And you have another branch which is called, let's suppose, new. I'm not writing the whole spelling, I'm just writing the initial letter of it. And you also have four commits in it, but at the fourth position you have a different commit. So let me just show you by drawing simply. You have one commit similar like a master branch, then you have second commit similar like a master branch, and you have third commit similar like a master branch. But in the fourth position, let's suppose you have another value, another commit, completely different commit. Let's suppose 6. Now, whenever you try to merge this thing, what will happen that what happens in general in Git, that it will try to merge this thing parallelly. Let's suppose this thing will get merged with this. So 1 1, this thing will get merged with this, right? This thing will get merged with this. But now here is the catch. Let's suppose you try to merge this. Now at this particular case, it will show you the merge conflict, because Git will get confused that which particular commit should I consider to include in that particular branch, because at the same position we have two different results. Like in one branch we have 4 results, in another branch we have 6 results, let's suppose. So this is a conflict, and this is what happened over here also, right? So in new branch it have another different result, and in main branch it have another different result. So that is what happens in the merge conflict. Now we'll see how to resolve this particular thing. So in order to do that, this is basically the conflict. Let me just type it here. Okay, anyway, yeah, it's hard to type. Okay, so in order to resolve this particular thing, there are many different ways you can do that. There are 3 different ways. Either first of all, you make this particular branch, that is new branch, updated with your master branch, whichever that master branch is. Let's suppose your master branch have 1, 2, 3, and 4. You updated that with that, and then you try to add your own commits. Let's suppose there are 3 ways to do this particular thing. I will explain 2 of them. merge commit and rebase option. You can do merge commit with the master branch, or you can do rebase with your master. This is the master of your local, right? And this is the master of your upstream. So you will update your current new branch which had a conflict with your upstream branch. So let's see that how you can do that. So you in the merge conflict, what it happens that, let me just remove these few things. Okay. Okay. So let's assume this is your upstream master branch and this is your local new branch. So now you wanted to update all these commits from your upstream master branch to your new branch. So what it will do is that it will simply merge all this thing into this particular branch. So where is the eraser? It will merge all this thing, and it will make your particular branch look something like this, right? And now you have to add explicitly another commit, which is your sixth result. Now this result is completely free from conflict. Now you can merge this particular result, this particular branch in your master branch. This particular new branch is out of the conflict. This is the one way, and the other way is like, we will see both of the ways in practical by doing over here. But let me just explain you the theoretical part of it. Okay, let me just do that. Okay, so over here, the other way is rebase. So in merge, we see that in merge, both of the things just collide with each other, and they simply do combination of both the things, and that is why we call this merge. And in rebase, rebase is completely opposite of it. What rebase do is that it simply align two things. It simply what it do is that it keeps the things one by one. Let's suppose in rebase, first it will see both the commits are both commits don't have conflict. It is also don't have conflict. It is also don't have conflict. Now here is the catch. Let me write here rebase. Okay. Now whenever rebase, while doing a rebase, whenever you are doing a rebase, here it is. Whenever you are doing a rebase and it founds a conflict, then it will the rebase command will give a choice whether you wanted to go with 4 commit, 4 result, or whether you wanted to go with 6 result. You have to choose which you wanted to do. So let me draw good. Okay. So whether you wanted to go with 4 or 6. So it will give choice whether you wanted to keep the 4 commit or 6 commit. So you have to choose whether whichever we wanted to select. Let's suppose I wanted to select the 4th one, right? So if I selected the 4th one, I will show you that how it asks you for that thing, whether you wanted to keep that particular commit or not. I will show you that in a while. So let's suppose I selected the 4th commit. So now what will happen is that it will remove the 6th one, and it will keep the 4th one here. And now your repository is similar or updated with your master branch. And now you can explicitly add six commit over after the 4th. So now your whole branch is free from conflict, and you can merge this into this particular branch. Now you can do that freely. So both of the ways like merge and merge and rebase works. Both of them give similar output. You can use any of those. I also theoretically explain you how both of the things do their tasks, right? Let's understand let's do this particular thing, and then we will understand the third part of it, that is squash merge. So let me just remove this particular conflict first, and then we'll do that, right? So so this particular branch had a conflict, right? So what we'll do is that we'll just go over here. We will write rebase current branch. I personally like rebase because it aligns the things in a order. And in merge is basically merge all the things. It doesn't care whether it's going in right way or wrong. So I personally like rebase. So I'm rebasing this particular command with upstream master branch because that is where my conflict happens, right? And I show you how that happens. So let's suppose I rebase. It will scan all these things in line by line. As I said, it scan all those things one by one, and whenever it found a conflict, it giving me option like this is the file you found a conflict, and whether you wanted to keep the upstream wala commit or the new branch wala commit. So as I said previously, it gives you two choices, whether you wanted to select the upstream commit or the local commit. So in my particular case, I wanted to select upstream commit because that is the updated one, right? I don't wanted the old commit. I wanted the updated wala commit. So I will select that, and I will select on continue repeat. Now it will do all these things for us, and now you can see that all these things are updated. Previously we only had this added commit, then this merge commit, and this we only had four commits, but now we have six commits. So it's added few things, but our old commit, right, like previously we had Akshay added. So yeah, I think he removed that. It removed that. So let me just show you. Yes, it removed that because we selected that. Let me just add this particular thing. So as I said, it takes the four from here and put it over here. So now we have to explicitly add the sixth commit, right? So what I will do is that I will take the Akshay add, and then I will paste it over here, and I will save this particular thing. Yes, over here you can see my new. Now I will commit this particular thing. What to write? Added text. Okay, now it have. Let me just do first one thing. I will force push all the things like force push is basically what, if you don't know already, force push is basically whatever the commit you have, it will not push uh, after that, it will push with that. I mean, it will basically refresh the whole branch with the new set of commits. So right now you can see here only one commit. Now if I push it, in our case, I guess we resolve the conflict. I'll push this commit also. So this is how you can push your commits from, it is very simple from this software to push your commits. Oh, I open Adobe XD. Okay, so we added new. Here it is. Now you can see that our branch doesn't have any conflict. Okay, so this is how you can resolve your conflict. Now let me tell you that how you can prevent your branch from having conflict in future. So what you can do whenever you are starting to make new pull request, you make a new branch from the main, right? So whenever you are going to do that, first of all, make your branch rebase with your master. So my branch is already rebased. My branch is already updated with my upstream main branch. So first do that, and then only you create a new branch from main. So then you will not get this conflict thing ever, right? So this is how you can resolve the conflict. Okay, so we've seen how to resolve a conflict with using this software. Now we'll see the different things like creating a repository, then adding few files and pushing all these things. Just give me a minute and then I'll do that. Hmm. Okay, so let's do the remaining part of it. Like we've seen how to resolve a conflict from the software, right? We also made. Now, whenever let's merge this particular branch also in our upstream. So we're going to get, and over here you can see. So as I explained that there is three different options like merge commit, then squash merge, and then there is other option is rebase. So we can do anything like I didn't explain this squash merge, right? So squash merge is basically I will explain that it requires a diagram for squash merge also. So let me just clear all this thing. So can I clear? Okay, anyway, I'll create the new one. Okay, so let's explain the let's see what is squash merge really is. So we see that the merge conflict and how it happens and what actually happens after committing or doing the merge conflict. We also seen the rebase one, what happens after doing the rebasing. So let's see what happens after doing this squash merge. So let's suppose you have one branch that is master branch. Let's name it master, right? And you have few commits to it. One or two, then three, and then there is four. And you have another branch. Let's suppose you created a new branch for your PR. You added few features to it, right? So let's suppose you added few features. Let's suppose six, then seven, and then there is eight and nine. So now you wanted to merge this feature into your master branch. But now problem is you don't wanted each and every commits to display or display on your Git history of master branch. You wanted this whole thing into one particular commit. So how you can do that? So that is the use of this squash merge thing. What squash merge thing basically will do that whenever you try to squash merge set of commits, it will simply merge all those commit into one commit, and then it will add those commit into your final master branch. So that's how it will work. So right now we only have one commit. So let's push another commit to it. Let's suppose I added few more text and I committed few things. Yes. So let's push that. Okay. So now you'll see two commits over here. Wait. Okay, I committed to the main. Sorry. Let me just add the things over here. Okay. And let's add it more text. I'm just showing you how the squash must work, right? So just me push this thing. Okay. So yeah, here it is. So we have two commits in one particular PR. Now I don't want these two commits to be included in my main branch. I only want one commit for this particular thing. So what I will do is that I will simply use squash merge and I will click on it. I will you can put any comment into this and simply push click on squash merge. So now you see if you go to the history of get, you'll only see one particular commit to it. You'll not see two or three commits. So this is the use of squash merge. Okay. Okay, so we've seen this squash merge thing also. Now let's do some. Now let's create new repository. Let me show you the create. First, we'll see how to create a repository. Then we will see how to clone a repository. And if you have already a repository with a Git made with Git, then you can add those. You just have to put your path, right? So we'll not go in deep into that. So let's create a new repository. Let me just create sample. I will create in this part. You can create this repository in anywhere, right? Let me just give a description sample. Initialize with readme file, and will not include this thing. Let's include the Apache, and yeah, okay. So where is Git desktop? Okay, okay. Let me just create another folder to here, right? So I wanted to create new repository, right? So sample. Okay, it's already created. Okay. Okay, so this is a pre-made, I think, repository I already created. I don't wanted to do that. So let's see how you can contribute to others repository or others project through Github-Desktop and how you can clone all these things and all this stuff. So let's open any GDSC project. So let's see this Flutter project. So let's assume that you wanted to contribute to this particular repository. This is a Flutter repository, intermediate level project. So you wanted to contribute to this particular repository. So you are not supposed to directly go and copy this URL, right? First, you have to fork this repository. But if you are using GitHub Desktop, then you are not needed to do all the stuff like fork and then copying and all the stuff. You can directly clone that. You can directly click on this particular option like open with GitHub Desktop. And GitHub will manage all the things like cloning, then making, and then pulling this particular whole code into your local machine and all the stuff. So just if you wanted to contribute to this repository, then just click on open with desktop and it will clone automatically into your account and it will pull all this thing. So this is a cool feature that I personally found, and that is the reason why I'm telling you all about this particular thing. So you can see in the developers and all these particular things. So let me just log in with another account because this account already have. Continue with the browser. No, not with this browser. Okay, now let me open this particular thing. Okay, if I clone this repository over here, it started cloning and it will fetch all these things. Let me fetch the origin. And now I'm ready to contribute to this particular repository, right? So over here you can see the previous things that done by whom and all the stuff. Yeah, as I said that you can open this repository directly in visual editor also. So I'll open that in the visual editor code, and I will do some basic changes to it, and I will make new PR into this repository just to show you how you can contribute to it. So let me just do that. Okay, so this is the previous code of this repository. Let me just get all the packages. Okay, is there anything we left for understanding? Oh yes, we have topics like cherry pick, commit, revert commit, and create branch from the commits. Okay, we'll see those topics in a while. Okay, great. We have three more topics left. So, okay. So there are few changes, but for now, let's just do some basic editing. I mean, I'm just adding few text into it, right? So I'm not doing anything. It's showing me error. Let me just add comment over here. So this is just for test purpose. I'm just showing you how you can add your contribution. So over here you can see okay. So over here you can see that there are few many things change automatically. So if you don't want this particular things to be included in your commit history, let's suppose I don't want this line to be included in my commit. So you can remove that line from here only. You just have to click over here and it will not include in your commit. You can click here also, or you can remove that from here. So this you can discard the changes also. So I'm discarding the changes. So there are many features like this GitHub have, and I personally like it very much. And I also don't wanted to change this versions of this pub. This automatically change pubs always do changes, right? So I will discard those changes as well. I only wanted to add this particular line. Okay, so now I will commit few things like added comment and comment to the framework. Okay, so let's make a new PR once this comment is done. Okay, we are done with the commit. Now what we'll do is that we'll push this particular commit to the origin. So here it's asking me the username and password. So I think I just log out from there. So let me just type my username and password. Okay. I'm switching off my screen because I don't want it to show that. Okay, 0701. Okay, so I again log in with this in the GitHub desktop software. So here you can see. So now I'll push my commit. Okay, so it's saying that let me just do this one thing again. Okay, I think I'm not share my screen. Let me just share my screen again. Okay. Okay, so from GitHub Desktop, I added one commit. As you can see, I added a commit, and this is the commit that I added. Now, in the in my clone repository, you can see that this branch is one commit ahead of the master branch or the remote branch. So in order to open a pull request, you just have to click on this open pull request. In previous session also we looked how to open a pull request. It is a basic stuff and nothing fancy here. You have to do all this. You have to put all this thing into this particular sections like what you did changes. For now, I am keeping it blank for testing purpose. So okay, so let's create a pull request. Okay, so we created our first pull request into GDSC's repository, right? So I have access to GDSC's repository, and that is the reason why it's showing me merge, squash, and this thing. So for now, I will just close this all thing because I don't want it to mess with those projects. Okay, so we understood that how to make a pull request into this from this software, how we can clone clone these particular projects, and how we can create repository. Then we also learn what are merge conflict, then how we can resolve that. Oh, we learn three different ways to do that, right? Two different ways, and the third way is just to squash merge all these things. So we did all these things. Now there are few topics like cherry pick, revert, and create branch from the commit. So we'll see that now. And okay, here it is. Okay, so I will do my cherry pick wala things in this particular branch only. So let's understand first theoretical part of this cherry pick, right? So let's first see that what cherry pick basically means, right? So what cherry pick is basically like as the name suggests, is basically picking up the commit from one particular branch and putting that commit to the other branch, right? So let's suppose let me just draw one uh, diagram. Let's suppose we have master branch. I'm just putting the initial letter of it, and we have five commits. One, then two, then three, then four, then five. Let's take one more, six. Okay, give me a second. Okay, okay. So we have six commits. Let's assume that we have six commits in our master branch, and we have another branch called new. So let me just write first word of it, initial letter. And in new branch we have three commits. Let's suppose one, uh, two. Uh, let's not take three. Let's take five commits. Two. Then we have three. Then we have four. Then we have five. Now we need one more commit. Let's suppose in some cases we need this particular six commit in our new branch. So you will not go again and type all those things in your computer or your local machine to create the six commit in the new branch, right? There should be a way to copy this particular one commit from one branch to the other. So that is the use of the cherry pick commit. This particular commit will simply take this particular one commit, only single commit from one branch to the other branch, and it will just copy paste that into the other branch. Now we'll see how this thing happen in this particular software and how you can do that. You can do the same thing in command prompt as well, but as I already said, it just makes the whole thing complicated, and it is very simple to do these things over here. So let's see how we can cherry pick our commit from one branch to the other branch. Okay, so let's suppose you wanted to do some cherry picking commits. In order to do that, what you have to do is that you just have to go to the history section. In history section, you will see all the list of the commits, and from here, whichever commit you wanted to pick from this branch and you wanted to paste to the other branch, you just have to click on that, and you have to you have to write that commit, and you'll see list of the items, list of the options, and in one option you can see that cherry pick commit. So this is the option that you have to select. So let's select cherry pick commit, and now you have to select which branch you want to do copy paste your commit. So let's suppose I wanted to copy this commit to my main branch, right? So I wanted to copy this commit to my main branch. So I will copy that, and it's giving me this particular conflict. It happens sometimes. So you have to select which particular commit you wanted to skip. So we will simply say main branch, right? So now it's added this particular commit, whichever we selected from our view branch. So that's how you can copy paste one commit from one branch to the other branch. Now there is one more thing, like you can create a branch from that particular commit. Like for now, let me just close this Visual Studio. Okay. Okay, so now we see that how we can copy paste one commit from the other from other one branch to the other branch, right? So let's suppose we wanted to, let me just erase this thing. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's suppose you wanted to create a whole new branch with one particular commit or from one commit. So in that particular case, there is a option called create branch from that particular commit. So what it will do is that it will simply create a new whole branch from that commit. So it will only create that commit, and then you can add your own list of commits like 7, 8, and all the stuff. So let's see that how we can do that. Create branch. Now we will give the name to our branch, like we created branch. Let's name branch sample. Okay, so as you can see, it created that particular branch from this commit. So this is a list of commit, right? So let's suppose I create a new branch with this particular commit. Then what will happen is that it will only contain two sets of two number of commits. So let me create one more, 2 from this branch where it is sample to, yes, here it is. Now you can see in this sample to branch, there are one particular, there are only one commit, which is ASDAS. I just simply named it. Don't make very stupid names in your own commits as well. Okay, so you can push this particular branch to your master branch, but I don't want you to push only one commit and this sample to branch. So for now, I'm skipping this. So that is how you can make a whole new branch from one particular commit. So yeah, that is about the cherry picking and how you can do that. Now let's understand how you can revert some of the commits. Let's suppose, let me just clean this thing. Okay. So let's suppose now we've seen that how to cherry pick the commit, how to create a whole new branch from one particular commit, right? So now we'll see that how you can remove or revert one particular commit. So let's suppose you created a commit, but that is not what you're supposed to do. You made a mistake in that, and now you wanted to go back to your previous version. So one way is to simply check out those commits simply using git checkout command. And the other way is that by reverting this particular commit itself. So what you'll do is that you'll create another commit. Let's suppose commit 7, right? Commit 7, you'll create another commit which will revert all the changes that did in the commit 6. So it will be like completely opposite changes of what you did in the sixth commit. So it's not complicated, it's very easy. Let me just show you in the practice. Let's suppose you wanted to revert this particular commit, right? So what you'll do is that you'll simply select right click on this on that commit, and then you'll select revert changes in commit. Now, when you do that, you'll see that there is one commit added, which is revert add more commit and whatever that name is. And in that commit, completely opposite has been happened. Like in previous commit, we added two D's in the text, and in revert commit, it removed two D's. So this is how you can do that. And let's suppose you are adding new commit and you are not pushed yet, so you can remove that commit also, you can undo that commit also. So that is also option present in this Github-Desktop. So that is also very cool thing I found. So you can discard all this thing. So yeah, I mean, it have lots of features, and you don't need any other thing if you have Github-Desktop with you. So yeah, so we covered cherry pick, then revert, and we also cover the create branch from one particular commit. So yeah, I think let me see if I left anything. If not, then that's great. Then we can conclude this session over here. So let me just see. Okay, so till now we cover the installation of Git, then resolving the conflict with different approach. Then we see how to make a repository, cloning a repository, and contributing to remote repository and all the stuff. We see in three different ways. Okay. Okay, so I think we are done here now for today. Oh, we are done. And if you face any problem or any difficulties while using this particular software, you can put your doubts or problems in our WhatsApp group or in our Discord channel. We would love to answer your queries, right? It is very easy to use this particular software. The whole GUI is very user friendly, and it makes whole things very easy to handle. And I don't think there is anything left from my side to cover. Like I cover almost everything. So yeah, I mean, today, all topics are done. So if you have any more queries, then you can put that in the Discord server, and I will answer that. So for today, bye bye, and see you.